Andrew Wiggins didn't really look like the star that he was leading up to the 2014 draft. Embiid didn't play at all his first 2 seasons. Nobody really knew who Nikola Jokic was. Drafted in the second round. The 2014 draft really didn't look that great in the first couple years of its tenure in the NBA. But boy, it has turned out to be a pretty solid draft class. What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to another NBA redraft as we're wrapping up these in the offseason. Don't know how many more I'm going to do, but I am very excited for the 2014 one today because it's actually a pretty good one. Definitely better than the 2015 redraft. I'm going to be making 16 picks here. I have a couple honorable mentions that any one of these guys could be at 16, 15, 14. Whatever you prefer, you can let me know down below. And those 7 honorable mentions are going to be Elfrid Payton, pretty solid point guard throughout his career. Doug McDermott's played on a couple teams, but has been a really good shooter. Jabari Parker, definitely one of the biggest what ifs, man. I believe he tore his ACL twice, so his career really wasn't the same after that. Dario Saric turned into a nice role player, but he also had a major knee injury. Kyle Anderson, slow-mo over in Minnesota now. And the last 2 are Rodney Hood, who's also had his fair share of injuries, and Dwight Powell, who's made a good amount of money in Dallas. So let's start off this redraft with the 16th overall pick, the Chicago Bulls. Sorry, Bulls fans. They're going to get Gary Harris here with the 19th overall pick. So the reason I chuckled is because they technically drafted Gary Harris. They moved a couple other guys here to get Doug McDermott. But yeah, in this redraft, they're going to get Gary Harris, who started off his career out of Michigan State in Denver looking pretty good. Like, this guy could be a really good two-way player for the Nuggets in the future, like for the next 5-10 years. Then his offense kind of fell off a cliff a little bit, but he's definitely had a solid tenure in Orlando, especially on the defensive end as of lately. He's coming in as our first pick here at 16 in the 2014 redraft. Coming in at number 15, we have another Harris. It is Joe Harris, who is the 33rd overall pick in this draft. He's going to be going to the Atlanta Hawks. Joe Harris has had a very nice career for the Brooklyn Nets so far. At one point in his career, just a few years ago, he was arguably the best shooter in the league, not named Steph Curry or Klay Thompson. Just an elite shooter who went in the second round. You can't ask for much more. He's going at 15 to the Hawks. Coming in at 14, we have the Phoenix Suns, who took TJ Warren here originally. A fine pick, but they're going to get Jusuf Nurkic here, who went 16th overall. And Nurkic has had a really good career. He's made a lot of money in this league from the Portland Trailblazers, originally on the Denver Nuggets. Good thing they chose to keep Jokic over Nurkic. I don't think that was ever a question. But yeah, Nurkic, he's been a double-double guy throughout his career. Getting him at 14, like, that's pretty good. Like, in the 2015 redraft, he probably would have went like 9th or 8th overall. So I just mentioned TJ Warren. He's coming out here at number 13 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. He originally went 14th. And yeah, in the 2014 draft, the Timberwolves took one of the better players in this class in Zach LaVine. But they're ending up with TJ Warren here, who's definitely had a weird last couple of years with injury. But man, his numbers in the bubble in 2020 in the playoffs were crazy. What'd they call him though? Bubble Jordan? TJ Jordan? It was insane. Coming in at number 12, we have the Orlando Magic selecting Bogdan Bogdanovic, who went 27th overall. Bogdan got a nice contract from the Atlanta Hawks in the offseason of 2021. He was a pretty good player for the Sacramento Kings. He was like, I remember in the final year of that contract before he was a free agent, like every team wanted him at the deadline. And then in the summer, he signed with Milwaukee. Then there were some tampering problems, so he ends up going to Atlanta, and he's going to Orlando here in the redraft. Coming in at number 11, we have another second round pick. This is 2 of 5, and it's going to be Spencer Dinwiddie, who was originally taken 38th, going to the Denver Nuggets. A lot of these guys, including Dinwiddie, have had some massive injuries throughout their careers. Like in 2020/2021, I believe it was the season that Dinwiddie missed the whole year due to it was a leg or a knee injury, and that's why he wasn't in that James Harden trade. But man, Dinwiddie has been really good for the Dallas Mavericks so far since getting traded at the 2022 trade deadline. Coming in at number 10, we have the Philadelphia 76ers, and they're getting Aaron Gordon here with the 4th overall pick. You don't know how badly I wanted Aaron Gordon to be like an all-star in this league. I was always so high on Gordon. Like me and a bunch of people I remember on Twitter like 5 years ago were like, he could be the Draymond Green of the East if the Magic just used him correctly. They never did, and he just never really worked out. I thought he was going to be this guy that could be like a solid three-point shooter, but didn't have to shoot him a ton. He could be a good inside scorer, but be an elite passer, an elite defender, an elite rebounder. He really never turned out to be that guy. I don't really love him in Denver, and I do think he's like an overpaid contract. He's still a fine player. He's going 10th here in the redraft. Coming in at number 9, we have the Charlotte Hornets, who are going to be selecting Clint Capella here. He originally went 25th to the Rockets. Man, there's a lot of late first-round picks, second-round picks that ended up shooting up in this draft. Clint Capella was a beast in Houston. I mean, his career definitely benefited playing alongside James Harden in his prime, which was like one of the greatest like 4 to 5 year seasons, or maybe even like 6 years, we like have seen from a guard, from his scoring ability and his just passing ability, and that definitely benefited Clint Capella's career, but he's been fine for the Hawks since getting that new contract from them. Coming in number 8, we have the Sacramento Kings selecting Jordan Clarkson, who has like the top 5 most points in this draft class. He was selected 46th overall. He's played for a few teams: Cleveland, LA, Utah, and I would say at this point he's been a really good sixth man throughout his career, just a crafty scorer off the bench. It's been his perfect role. Coming in number 7, we have the LA Lakers taking Jeremy Grant, who went 39th, another second round pick. So the Lakers originally took a power forward. They're getting a different one here, but Grant's been just an incredible kind of like, I don't know, like his career started off in Philly. He was part of the trusted process Sixers. Didn't really work out. Then he spent time in OKC, spent time in Denver, and really showed out when he got that new contract from the Pistons. And now he's on the Portland Trail Blazers. I'm very excited to watch him this year alongside Damian Lillard. Coming in number 6, we have the Boston Celtics selecting Joyce Randall, who originally went 7th. Now, you guys know my opinions on Joyce Randall. He was a fine player in LA. He wasn't the best player in New Orleans. He had a really good 2021 with the Knicks, not a good 2020. And in 2022, he was right back to what he was in 2020. So I don't really love Joyce Randall, but just because of that most improved season in 2021, where he was elite, brought the Knicks to the playoffs, he's going to go 6th here in the redraft. Coming in number 5, the Utah Jazz are selecting Marcus Smart, the 6th overall pick. Originally, they took Dante Exum here, who I'm sure they wanted to be a Defensive Player of the Year player for them one day, but it is Marcus Smart, who won DPOY last year, and I was very shocked when he won it, but there's no doubt that he's one of the best defensive guards in the league and has been since he's been drafted out of Oklahoma State in 2014. Yeah, like you have a DPOY going 5, that's when you know this is a good draft, because coming at number 4 with the Orlando Magic selecting Andrew Wiggins, who originally went number 1 overall to the Cavs and was traded to Minnesota in the Kevin Love deal. But yeah, you could have Wiggins at 4 or at 3. I had some debate with myself, but I definitely wanted to put him at 4, just I don't want to let recency bias get the best of me after what he did, winning a ring with the Warriors in 2022. But man, Wiggins didn't start off the best throughout his career. I mean, he had too high like expectations right away. He had a really good 2016-17 with the Timberwolves, got that new extension, like was the perfect time to play really well. And then his career in Minnesota really didn't finish that well. Then got traded to Golden State, and he's not going to be like, or he wasn't that LeBron James, next KD that he was getting that pre-draft hype to be, but he's a great third option on a really good team, and that's what he proved to be for the Warriors this past year. So coming in at number 3, to the Philadelphia 76ers, this was the player I debated with Andrew Wiggins. I mentioned him before, going to the Timberwolves at 13. It's Zach LaVine. Because yeah, I think like Wiggins does provide you maybe better passing ability, defense, like that third option. Maybe LaVine wants to be that number 1 or number 2, and that could hurt him. So if you want to put Wiggins at 3, that's fine with me. But LaVine, over the last 3 years, has just been one of the best scorers that I've ever seen. I have a tweet way back. It's when the Kings threw a deal at LaVine, a restricted free agent, and I hated it. I was like, why are you paying money for LaVine? You really can't play defense. He doesn't make your team much better, and they already had Buddy Hield. Boy, that is one of my worst takes ever, because the Bulls matched that, as they should have, and he turned out to be one of the best scoring guards in the league since. He's going 3 here to the Sixers. The Milwaukee Bucks at number 2. Originally got Jabari Parker, mentioned him earlier. They're getting Joel Embiid here, who went the pick later at 3. I mean, boy, who thought Embiid could be like this right now if you ask somebody in 2015 or 2016? First 2 years, doesn't play. 2016 plays a little bit and was like in the Rookie of the Year conversation after only playing like 30 or so games, and has been one of the most dominant big men in the league since, coming at number 2 here to the Bucks. And coming in at number 1 to the Cleveland Cavaliers or Minnesota Timberwolves, whoever you want to say has this pick, it's going to be Nikola Jokic, who went 41st in this draft. We have a second round pick going number 1 in a redraft. It's pretty crazy, and this was pretty easy to make. Jokic, back-to-back MVP winner, an absolute unicorn at the center position. He's going number 1 here to the Cavs/Timberwolves. So yeah, that is my 2014 redraft. I hope you guys did enjoy. Drop a like if you did. Let me know what you agree with or disagree with down below. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.